Great old school question here from David Gibb. What did you enjoy about or learn from working with Jerry Stubbs? And why don't you think he ever made it to the big time of Crockett or the WWF after Continental closed?
Well, that's easy. Jerry never wanted to leave Pensacola, and I get it. The farthest he went was to work for Bill Watts, and which he did when I first started in the business. He was going over for a few months, and he would go back to Pensacola for a few months. He might have went as far as possibly Memphis, but when I first got to Pensacola, Jerry Stubbs was in shape. He was working out. He was laying by his pool. He was tanned. He had somebody making his gear, his masks, his boots, his tights. I mean, he looked as good underneath that hood as anybody in the business. And man, could he work. He was an exceptional worker. And he was big enough. I mean, Jerry was probably 6'2", probably 240, 245, but jacked. He looked like a star. And he was so good, working with him and working as his partner. I learned so much in that short amount of time. I can't tell you. I will be forever in his debt, and I probably don't give him enough credit as one of the guys that helped groom me, but man, was he good.
Interesting question here. Because I don't think we've ever talked about something like this. Stoner Dale wants to know, do you have any special rituals that you used to do before showtime? So you're getting ready for the big match. We've heard through the years that lots of athletes are superstitious. They want to make sure they keep their streak alive or their good luck alive or they stay safe. Did you have any specific rituals yourself?
Nothing too funky. I did like to stretch for about 45 minutes before a match and break a sweat backstage. Back in the day, we had the rubber hose with the handles on them. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And some guys use those to get a pump or loosen up or whatever you wanted to call it. But I'd like to go find an area somewhere in the arena where I could get a place in the curtain back there where I could watch certain matches, because I knew they were going to do some incredible stuff. And I wanted to make sure whatever I had in my head for the match that night wasn't done earlier or even remotely done earlier, which would have taken away from the reaction of what I was going to do later. So I could watch certain matches and stretch and catch that sweat, so that when I came through the curtain, I was warmed up. I was ready to go. I was already in wrestle mode. I wouldn't call that an unusual ritual, but it was just something that kept me from getting hurt. And I was very lucky over the years. Other than the 3 times I tore my neck up, I was relatively healthy. So that's about it.